ago. It is the anniversary of the pro-democracy Tiananmen Square demonstrations that led to a massacre. In studio, as ever, on Friday, we have Vice President for National Security and Foreign Policy at the Heritage Foundation, Jim Carafano. You should follow him at Jay Carafano. Check out his writings at the Daily Signal. Go to heritage.org. With everything going on in Hong Kong, with the anniversary and what's happening on the streets of America, pause for thought? Comparisons?
Well, I think there's two important things. One is, why do we care about Tiananmen Square and why do we care about Hong Kong? And I think international pressure is really the only hope we have here to get the Chinese to either water down or back off or delay the national security law. If there is no
one that they want to use on Hong Kong.
Right. So if there is no international pressure, they will just flatten Hong Kong like a pancake. Right. So that may be a forlorn hope, but I think it's the best option we have. The other thing is we cannot let the world forget how the Chinese government dishonors its problems, how they oppress the freedoms and liberties of their own people. And if that's what they do to their own people, what can the world expect from them? So it is so important to kind of keep a spotlight on the mendacious behavior of the Chinese Communist Party. That's just so important.
How about saying the simplest thing, or the starting point, is just to recognize this isn't just another country, is it, Jim? China is not Belgium. It's not Canada.
Right. They don't believe in free markets. They don't believe in human rights. They don't believe in freely elected governments. Those are obstacles to the health and promotion of the Chinese Communist Party. They are fundamentally different than we are, and we have to deal with that. But here's what that just made me just blaze with anger was people looking at images from Tiananmen Square of tanks rolling and comparing that to the U.S. military today.
Outrageous.
When we deploy our military, it is to protect liberty and property and lives, not to suppress them. When our military is deployed domestically, they're in support of civil authorities.
Right.
They do not supplant them. They are bound by the Constitution and their oath. None of these things are true of the Chinese military, which is not even a tool of the government. The Chinese military is a tool of the Chinese Communist Party.
And the idea that the military would ever serve a dynasty or an individual here in America is anathema to everything that you learned and everything anybody in any service learns.
And I got to tell you, I come at this not just as a military historian and 25 years in the military, but decades of public safety and looking at those kinds of issues. We've had situations where things have gone south. Military support to civil authorities. When things go wrong, it's often because it's the civil authorities in charge that make stupid decisions.
Right.
So, for example, now where you have authorities who are reluctant to bring in additional security to secure their cities because they're afraid that that's going to dishonor the protests, I just think that's ludicrous. Nobody wants to dishonor the right to protest, but we need to keep people safe, and you can do both. And if it goes south, it's not because you brought in Americans just like you and I. The only difference is they're wearing a uniform that makes them look like a tree. The difference is you made stupid decisions. And when we see people make stupid decisions, bad things happen. As much as I think our mayor has been kind of all over the place on this, at the end of the day, we had violence in the city. They brought in the National Guard. They put in a curfew. The city got safe, and people are protesting. We'll probably have 200,000 people come and protest this weekend. They'll be able to protest safely and without fear because this city took care of its people. Why can't every mayor and governor do that? What is so damn hard?
And when it goes wrong, it's wrong. And we use the word wrong.
Right.
In places like China, when force is used against their citizens, that's not a mistake. That's actually a policy decision. And anybody who dares to conflate the two, it's just an insult to everything we hold sacred.